Dear friends, welcome back to Data Analytics Talks. Thank you very much for all your support. This is the fourth session under Data Engineer Learning Series, and it's also a continuation of the Cloud Computing and Microsoft Azure video. So, if you had not got an opportunity to watch Cloud Computing, I would recommend you to do that before proceeding with this video. I would be happy to share the link in the description. This video, we will have a tour of Microsoft Azure, azure.microsoft.com portal, and to see what Microsoft offers you in terms of software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. By the end of this session, you will have a fair idea of the Azure platform and you will be able to make easy navigation of Microsoft Azure. Let's begin. Let's go to portal.azure.com. In order to log into Microsoft Azure, you need to have a Microsoft account. It could be Hotmail or Outlook. You need to provide your credential. Microsoft uses various means to verify your identity. It might ask you a code from your phone number. So I am verifying with a code. So verification is complete and you are into Azure portal. So welcome to Azure. If you don't have enabled your Azure free trial, you have to enable the Azure free trial. You need to associate a credit card to enable your Azure free trial. If you have not done that, please start by associating a credit card to your Azure account. What is the benefit? You will get a 200 Azure credit. You will have 30 days to use it. And also you will have some free services along with your account too. After that, you will have to go for pay as you go model. So you are already into Azure portal and it is our time to explore. We will go to all the resources, all the categories and have a look at each one of the resources. Let's begin. So let me begin our journey by showcasing the navigation. So click on these three lines on the top left corner and you can find create resources. You have the home button, dashboard, all services. Then you have all resources. Then resource groups, app services, function app, SQL databases, Azure Cosmos DB, virtual machines, load balancers, storage accounts, virtual networks, Microsoft Extra ID, monitor, advisor, Microsoft Defender for cloud, help and support, then cost management plus billing. So coming to the home, let me click on the home and coming to the home, I can see the Azure services that is available on Microsoft Azure. Then you can see a recent and favorite tabs. In the recent tab, it will list out all the resources that you have recently viewed or recently utilized. There is no resource have been viewed recently, so you don't see it anywhere here. And you can add some resource to your favorite tab so that you can quickly access them. There is a navigate button. You can navigate to your subscription, resource groups, then all resources, dashboards, and there are some learning tools which will be Microsoft Learn, Azure Monitor, which is for monitor your apps and infrastructure. Then there is a security aspects, Microsoft Defender for cloud and cost management. Once your free period is over, you will be billed as you go. So the cost management and various metrics are very important for you. And you can find a lot of useful links also, technical documentation, Azure migration tool, Azure services. Then you can find an expert and all the recent updates and so on. And you can also find Azure mobile app. It supports both iOS and Android. So let me click on the more services link. It gives you all the services. Okay, it will list out all the services. And if you look at this left navigation, you can see various categories of areas of service that cloud is offering you. So have a quick look. You have AI machine learning, you have analytics, you have the compute, you have containers, you have databases, you have DevOps, you have general utilities. Then there is hybrid and multi-cloud identity. Then you have integration services, then Internet of Things, that is IoT, then management of governance, then migration, mixed reality, then you can have monitoring services. Then you will find networking, then security, storage, web and mobile. What I am showing you is how Microsoft is categorizing their services in the cloud platform. You got some idea. Now we are going one more level deeper and understand what each category can offer us. That will be more beneficial for us. So let me start with the AI plus machine learning module. So in this category, we have an end-to-end platform for building, training, developing machine learning modules. So if you're already exposed to machine learning, some of these terms could have been already familiar to you. Terms like Azure AI service, anomaly detectors, computer vision, then personalizers, board services, then face API, then speech services, Azure AI video indexer, cognitive search. We have Azure OpenAI, very famous. We always relate this Azure OpenAI with ChatGPT and translators. Besides, we have the machine learning, where we have Bonsai, Azure Synapse Analytics, then intelligent recommendation accounts, Azure machine learning, and so on. So when you plan or your client plans some AI machine learning developments or projects, you can come to Microsoft Azure and explore AI plus machine learning module. As a data engineer, the next module, which is nothing but the analytic, is very important. The data engineering, we are doing big data processing and we do data exploration. We also do the real-time analytics. To process big data, we need services like analysis services, data lake storage, where you put all your data. Then we have the Microsoft Graph. We have the data factories, which apply some pipelines. We have the data bricks, which do the data transformation and AI integration. And we have the data lake analytics and HD insights, HD clusters. And for data exploration, we have the data catalog, data shares, Azure Data Explorer clusters, Power BI embed, and data share invitations. Then for doing the real-time analytics, we have Apache Kafka, then Azure Synapse Analytics, then Event Hubs, Stream Analytics clusters, Azure Synapse Analytics, then Log Analytics Workspace, then Stream Analytics jobs. When we are working on data-related data analytics, data exploration, Microsoft Cloud offers you a lot of tools. Moving on, we can see some of the compute offering from Microsoft Azure. We already discussed that we have the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, serverless and microservices, high-performing computing, hybrid cloud. So in each category, we have a lot of offerings from Microsoft Azure. If you look at the infrastructure as a service, we have the virtual machines. And we have the availability set. We have VM versions, VM application definition. It is Azure Virtual Desktop. We can have the virtual VM image definitions. We can do host groups. Then a lot of related offers under this infrastructure as a service. Then coming to platform as a service, which is PaaS, we have the common app services, then virtual instances for SAP solutions, then Azure VM solutions, Azure Spring apps. Then very famous serverless and microservices, which is container apps, Kubernetes services, container apps environments, then function apps. And if you want high performing computing, there are options like bare metal instances, quantum workspaces, batch accounts, SAP HANA on Azure. Then someone looking for hybrid cloud, then we have the Azure Arc, Citrix Virtual App Essentials, and so on. So get an idea about the computing infrastructure, computing offering by Microsoft Azure. Coming to containers, we have container infrastructure, which is called container instances and container registries. Then container management, we use these Kubernetes Fleet Manager, Kubernetes services. Then Service Fabric clusters, Service Fabric managed clusters. We can also avail the containerized applications like app configurations and container apps. Very importantly, we are going to look at the databases available in Microsoft Azure. There are a row of Azure SQL databases, SQL Elastic Pools, SQL Managed Instances, SQL Servers, SQL Virtual Machines. Then we have the Cosmos DB, Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Cosmos DB for MongoDB. Then there are so many open source database engines. Some are Azure Database for MariaDB servers, Azure Database for MySQL Flexible Servers, Azure Database for MySQL Servers, then Azure Database for Postgres Flexible Servers, and so on. Then we have the hybrid data services, Azure Arc Data Controllers, then SQL Managed Instances, then SQL Server, Azure Arc. If you need additional data services, Azure Cache for Redis, then Managed Databases, SQL Server, Stretch Databases, Elastic Job Agents, and so on. So under the database, you can find numerous number of databases in Microsoft Azure. Then Microsoft Azure offers the DevOps. You can do DevOps tools, integration, and monitoring. Then we have many general sources like you have the Resource Graph Explorer, then shared dashboards, then we have the recent, then resource groups, then Resource Explorer, then we have the building, then where to get started. Some of the learning materials also available under learning and the general. Then also Microsoft support is there, and there is a health check also happening. Coming to hybrid and multi-cloud, there are options available for hybrid and multi-cloud. Identity is one of the important concepts, how to authenticate, how to authorize. There are various options to do this identity management. We have the Azure AD Connect Health, then Microsoft Entra Connect, then Azure AD B2C, then we have the B2C tenants, then external identities. Then to manage the identity management, we have the Azure AD Domain Services, guest usage, then Azure AD Privileged Identity Management, app registration. We have the Managed Identity and Microsoft Entra ID. For security and protection, we have the Identity Governance, Azure Information Protection. We have Microsoft Entra ID Protection, the Microsoft Entra ID Security, Verified ID, and so on. Then for integration, workflows and orchestration, for that we have the app configuration, we have the logic apps, logic app custom connectors, then API management, messaging services. For messaging, mainly Event Grid, Event Hubs, Service Bus, Event Hub clusters. Then coming to the Internet of Things, you can find IoT Central Application, Connect and Manage Devices, Device Update for IoT Hubs, Azure IoT Hub Device Provisioning Services. Then coming to analyze and transform data, we need the Azure Cosmos DB, Event Hubs, Stream Analytics Jobs, Azure Data Explorer Clusters, Function App, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Digital Prints, Storage Account, Time Series Insight Environment. Then for integrate business and AI solution, we have the Azure AI Services, Azure Map Accounts, then Power Platform, Logic Apps, Azure Maps Creator Resources, Azure Stack Edge, Azure Machine Learning, and so on. Then management and governance, we have a lot of resources we can find in Microsoft Azure. Try to understand the offerings that Microsoft offers you. Then we have the migration. There are many migration tools, Azure Database, Migration Services, Azure Migrate. Then data protection, we have Azure Data Box, Recovery Service Vault, Azure Stack Edge or Data Box Gateway. Then we have mixed reality, then monitoring services. When there is troubleshooting, we have the alerts, diagnostic settings, metrics, Azure Workbooks, Log Analytic Workspace, Azure Monitor Workspace, then change analysis and so on. Networking, security, then storage. In the coming sessions, we will understand more about Azure storage and what is the data lake storage, Gen 1, Gen 2, and so on will be looked into in a very detailed manner. Then we have web and mobile, API management, application infrastructure, application management, media service and search, then messaging and notification. These are all supporting tools to develop web applications and mobile applications. This gives you a good idea about what is the Microsoft Azure. My scope was to take you through various resources available in Microsoft Azure, and next session we will build, run and test applications in Azure platform. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you had a wonderful time with me. You got a fair idea of what is Microsoft Azure and you are able to make easy navigation in portal.azure.com. I would recommend you to go for the free Azure account and utilize what Microsoft offers you. In the future session, we will be focusing on what is relevant for an Azure data engineer. We will be focusing on the storages, databases, analytical tools like ADF, Databricks, Azure Synapse, and so on. Please share your feedback as comments and don't forget to like, share and subscribe this channel. Thank you.